What is going on, YouTube people? Neo Cards and Comics here today for a little bit of a tough chat that we have to kind of have. I don't really know, what the right answer on all this is. So I figured it was kind of worth talking about. It's not the first time we've had something like this pop up, and as of time of recording, thoughts on a good recovery to the person that we're going to talk about here, Damar Hamlin. I'm recording this Tuesday afternoon, so there really hasn't been any updates yet at this individual point. This was a talking point throughout the evening on Monday and has been throughout the day today. Is it okay to profit off of a tragedy like this? Whether you want to use this one or, the Kobe Bryant accident a few years back, or as recently as, Franco Harris just passed away last week. We really didn't hear anything about this, and we'll kind of talk about that in a minute. Is there a statute of limitations? Should you wait a certain period? I wish I had a great answer. Part of the reason why I'm making this video is because I'm just curious for your thoughts and comments down below. I don't think you should be listing things for sale at a jacked up price. Like the day that this happens, as things are going on, especially this very particular one feels a lot different because it is still an ongoing and active situation. We don't really know what's going on, at least as of time of recording. We all, at least most of us, I assume, saw it, watched it, were shook by it. And my first thought was never let me go run through my dollar bins to go see what Damar Hamlin I have and post it up on eBay. That just feels gross to me. There was a discussion on Twitter last night that I was part of. If you're not following me on Twitter, links in the description down below. And it kind of centered around one, some people have these things legit running at auction. No malice was intended. When they put these things up for sale, they didn't know 4 days, 5, 6, 7 days later this was going to happen, clearly. But, I can just scroll through here real quick. There are 500 items listed for these. I can tell you right now, I looked last night as this was all going on. There was 100. What has happened is a lot of people are bidding up and shilling active auctions. While we're just kind of chatting here, I'll kind of just pull this up. And intentionally trying to screw people over, essentially, from profiting on it by tying up the card through the various eBay processes. So it's kind of like the one-time shill bidding may actually have a benefit, because I don't think someone's paying $40,000 for this card. Now, some auctions, it looked like they were talking about potentially donating the proceeds to charity. I don't know if that's actually the case or not. I don't know how that works through eBay, so I don't want to really get into the weeds on that. I just know that this, to me anyway, and who am I to sit here up on my soapbox looking down on someone holier than thou? To me, this feels not right. It feels dirty. It feels just not correct. I just couldn't sit right with myself trying to profit off of this. I already know. People in my mentions last night on Twitter, and I saw stuff on Facebook, were like, hey man, capitalism, go get it. I guess if that's what you got to do to make a buck in this, you do you, I guess, but it's just not for me. I'll try to grind out a little bit of profit other ways. And I will say, after Kobe passed in his accident, I did sell a Kobe card, but I waited I think I waited a week, and then I ran an Upper Deck SPX, just a base card, nothing crazy, one of those die cut ones, at auctions. It was before I was even making content. But I think I waited a week or two before I ended up selling that. Because at some point in time, transactions are going to happen again. People sell Kobe Bryant cards all day long, even though he died tragically. In this case, hopefully Damar pulls through fine, and we look back at this as saying, what a great job the medical team did. Cool. He's back on his feet, maybe even playing football again one day. Who knows? In this topic of conversation, I remember, even though the content wasn't where it is now in regards to the space, people were chatting about this when the Kobe thing was going on. I saw it in Facebook groups on IG. I was not, a social. I didn't have as big of a social presence as I do now, because I didn't have a YouTube channel or anything like that back then. But someone did bring up in my comments, like this happened with Franco Harris last week, and people were selling his stuff, and no one really seemed to care. And maybe there was posts about it. Like I said, I'm in a bunch of different Facebook groups, just more so to kind of lurk and kind of get vibes. And I'm on Twitter and IG and obviously YouTube comments and all that. And they're right. Like, I did not see a ton of like uproar about people selling Franco Harris stuff. And I think the difference is an active young player with an ongoing situation versus a retired player that, yeah, it sucks that Franco Harris passed away in his 70s, but lived, a relatively full life by all accounts. Maybe that's the difference. I don't know. If a retired player, I'm not even going to speculate on any names, someone in their 70s, 80s, or 90s that had a long career, lived a full life, whatever, passes away, is that different? Do you feel different about that? If you had imaginary player X's autograph card and they passed away and you weren't super attached to it, would you list it and feel bad about it? Does that feel different than listing a Damar Hamlin card right now? In my mind, it does. I don't know if that's right or wrong. Like I said, I don't know if there's really right or wrong answers here. This is just more me almost kind of working through this thought process live while I'm recording this video. I know, me personally, the Damar stuff just feels completely different. Like I said, to me, it feels like if I'm going to list one of his cards on eBay, I need like 7 showers afterwards, to the point that I just wouldn't do it. I don't own any of his cards. This is a non-item for me personally. But it brings up this interesting talking point around, I hate to even use the words taking advantage of a tragedy, but people profiting off of something like this. How does that sit with you all? I have a feeling I know how it's going to sit with most people. I'm sure there's going to be some people that disagree with it. To me, it just feels a little off. By a little, a lot. Like I said, this is not something that I would personally do. It just feels wrong. It just feels off. I couldn't sleep with myself at night. I keep kind of going back to that. Could I sleep with myself at night? But on the flip side, I do think I think the Franco Harris thing is a very legitimate point for someone to bring up, because it just happened. And if I had Franco Harris stuff, I don't know that I would feel the same about it. And like I said, I don't know if it's a difference of the fact that he was older, had a full career, wasn't an active player, didn't watch it play out live on Monday Night Football. There's just a lot of variables here. So just very curious to kind of see where everyone comes out on this of, when is it appropriate? At some point in time, people are going to transact Damar Hamlin card. I mean, they are now, technically. I mean, I don't know how many of these are actually going to be legitimately ended. How many people? There's a lot of bins on stuff. A lot of stuff got listed, but I don't know how much of this is, because I saw plenty of stuff on Facebook of people binning stuff and sending messages saying, I'm not paying for this, I'm not going to let you profit off this, that, and the other thing. But at what point is it okay to then sell? If let's say a majority of us agree, which once again, I don't want to put thoughts in anyone's head or words in people's mouths, but I think a majority of people are going to say, like, this doesn't feel right, we shouldn't be doing this. Fair. And like, once again, I agree with that statement. But at what point in time then is it okay to go to, I guess, shall we say, business as usual? Is it, once we get clarity on the situation? When does this turn the corner? And not necessarily this specific example, because like I said, this is still an active, ongoing thing. But even like with the Kobe situation, I don't remember when it went from, oh my God, I can't believe you're profiting off of Kobe's death, to, oh, okay, cool, let's just buy and sell some Kobe Bryant cards. I don't remember. It was too long ago. I mean, it really wasn't that long ago, but in my mind, it was forever ago. I don't remember when that script flipped to, oh, you're an evil person for trying to sell this right now, to, oh, cool, like, let's do a deal around this Kobe auto or whatever the case might be. I don't know where that narrative switched. And once again, this situation is a little bit different because it is an ongoing active situation. So that changes the math here, I believe, as well. And like I said, is it a completely different conversation for an older retired player. You know, like I said, I view that differently. When the Franco Harris thing happened, it never even really crossed my mind, to be honest with you. And I saw no noise about that anywhere. I do find it very amusing that people, buyers, air quotes, buyers, are flipping eBay around on the people that are trying to sell this. Once again, I'm sure there'll be some people in the comment section that don't agree with that and think that this is all perfectly fine. If that's your opinion, you're entitled to it. That's fine. I don't necessarily agree with it. But that's where we're at. So as always, very, very curious for your thoughts and comments on this one. And once again, as of time of recording, hope you get better tomorrow. Hope we see you on the football field again, or at least walking out of that hospital sometime soon. We will catch you guys and girls on the next one. Peace.